Imagine being able to use AI to create an environment, explore it in 3D, and use that environment in your AI art images for better storytelling or for setting up shots for a video project. Well, today I'm going to show you how you can do that and how the whole system works in the Worlds feature, now available in OpenArt AI, who has sponsored this video, and there's a link in the description if you want to check them out. Okay, so I'm logged into OpenArt, and if I come down, there's this little create your own AI world here. I'm going to click on that. And it says here we can upload up to 4 images. So I will try that, but not this first time around. I'm going to start off by simply describing what I'm after to see what the AI comes up with. And I'll come up with a very simple prompt: a post-apocalyptic city, overgrown nature and cracked concrete, and the occasional high-tech surveillance units, futuristic but used design style for a live-action film. Now keep in mind there are also some presets down here if you wanted to try those. But for now, we're going to stick with the simple text description. And before I go ahead and create this entire world, I want to check out a preview panorama. You can see it takes about 30 seconds. So I'm going to click that and wait for it to generate. And from that, it's created this kind of like panorama image showcasing what we've been able to create. So we've seen our world here. What I'm going to do is come down to create 3D world. Now we're going to wait for that world to be created. And while that is being created, actually prompts us to create a character. So instead of starting from image again, I'm just going to simply describe my character. Type in something like, so I have a half man, half cyborg, dressed in a detective jacket with a punk style haircut. Now I can use Seedream 4 or Nano Banana Pro. Let's just stick with Seedream. We'll go 4.5, photorealistic, and generate a character. And it's done a pretty good job of getting what I'm after. I think this image is pretty much exactly the kind of thing I had in mind. So I'm going to close that down. Run with this image, hit create, and I give the character a name. Now, optional, I just decided to put here: a man who nearly died in a war, was rebuilt with cybernetics, and is a mercenary. Just something pretty standard. Hit create. Now I've come back to the screen here. I'm just going to close it off. And now I've come to the world setting where it's generating our world still. But if I come down here to the character section, I come up to browse library, and you can see my cyborg Bill character here is ready to go, along with some other characters I've created in the past. But I'm going to head back to our worlds here and just wait for this world to finish generating. And now it's finished. We hover over, it says enter. And now we have an actual 3D world, very similar to our panorama, a little bit more detailed, as well as a few different controls here. For instance, I can move forward with W or left with A. These are kind of right here on your keyboard. Backwards with S. So you can almost walk around, almost like a game, I would say, using the mouse. I can click and drag. So if I wanted to, say, move down, you notice it says Q to move down. If I want to move down really low underneath the world, which is probably not what we really want, but I can always move back up with E or space. And so maybe I want this nice low angle looking up at something here. So if I have a low angle like this here, I can change the field of view by using my square brackets to create something really intense. Got our surveillance drones here, and I can return to origin by hitting 0. Now I can move faster or slower, so I can adjust that. But for now, if I click on this button up here, I can see the world shots I've created. I can prompt for an image. I can come down here and say take shots. And you see we get a bit of a frame, so I can frame it up, still use my buttons, and capture the angle as best I can. And on top of that, I can now add my character in here. So I can say something like a low angle shot of, and I can click here, and it will bring up my characters. So I can say Cyborg Bill, a low angle shot of Cyborg Bill looking forward past us. I can auto enhance shot, which just helps improve the details. I can choose different focal lengths here, which is really cool. Also change the aspect ratio. But essentially, I do this and click take shot, and it will add that shot up here. I go to my images. You see it's generating that shot. And of course, from there, you can very easily just simply move around and create more shots, and just simply changing the angle, change the way the camera's moving, and really set things up for a more consistent environment, have full control, and really be able to get a good feel for what it is that you're creating. And as you can see, I've already got a few shots here generating, and it's just a simple case of moving the camera around with your mouse using those keys to either go down or up. So if I wanted to say have this doorway here, I can also zoom in or walk forward, center up that frame. And it's a really easy, simple case of just changing characters here. Maybe I pick something like Punky Pete for something different, or the Kung Fu Man. And I say, at Kung Fu Man stands in the doorway in a Kung Fu fighting pose, and I can just continue to take these different shots, and they will just simply generate up here. And this is our world album. But if I'm done with that, I can come up and close out of this view, head on out, and you'll see the images are generating here for us to view. And so that's given us a consistent environment to place our characters, who are also consistent, and take a little more control over the framing and where we want them to be in the scene. This is great for storytelling or even just for generating a series of images that need to be consistent. Now that was a very quick and easy way of doing it. If you really just want to pump something out, you can just simply use the AI to generate it for you straight up. But there's actually a bit more of an involved process where if you need a little bit more control and you want to tailor the results a little bit more to your liking, then I'm going to look at how we can do that by combining it with Nano Banana 2 for a little bit more control. So coming back, what I'm going to do, instead of getting straight into the world building section, I'm going to head over to Create Image. Because we have access to Nano Banana 2 here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this image of our guy, pop him in there, and also this image which was generated with me in it. Now, this isn't the original picture. This was generated from an image of me. But I'm going to simply create a character and say something like, can you recreate image 1, which is our character, but change the face and beard to match image 2, which has my face. So now I'm going to keep it at 16:9. I'm going to go 2K and I'm going to generate 3 different images to choose from. As you can see, we've got a few different images. One has the fish in it. The other one is closer to what I'm after. And the next one is kind of like a swap around of the wrong face and image. But coming back, I'm going to actually now get rid of these 2 because even though it hasn't produced a result I'm happy with, I can drag this image in and simply ask, can you blend the head of this image more organically with the body? I hit generate again. Now we get this image here, which I think looks pretty good. And we could continue to reiterate and adjust, but I'm going to move forward because what we want to do now is focus on creating our world. So I'm going to get rid of this image altogether and type in something else. And now I've popped in pretty much the exact same prompt from here on that we used the first time we created the world, except I put create in front. And I'm also going to add, make it the middle of the day, bright and sunny. So again, this time I'm going to go with 4 and I'm going to bring the resolution up because I want a little bit more detail to be able to look into. So I've got 4 images, I hit create. And from that, we now have 4 different worlds. They all have a very similar look to them, but this is definitely the type of thing I had in mind when I was prompting earlier. But I can also just use Nano Banana to further edit these images if there's anything I want to change. But overall, I think that this image here is probably the best option. However, I don't really want these people in there. So what I'm going to do is simply drag this over and just say, remove the people from this image, go down to 2 options, hit generate. And now we have an image with the people removed that we can use in our world. And of course, we can continue to make small edits and adjust our prompt if we wanted to really refine what we're after in both the world and our characters. So this makes it really powerful to use an image model to nail down those details first. But I can also get some different angles to add into our world. So I'm going to remove this image here, drag this new image in. I'm simply going to say, change the camera angle to see what is to the right of this scene. I hit generate, but I'm also going to change that to left and generate again. And on top of that, I can say, change the camera angle 180 degrees to look in the opposite direction and generate that also. And now you can see we have various different angles of our city we can use when building our world. So I come down here to the world function, create a 3D world, and it says I can add up to 4 images. I can either upload, so these don't have to be AI generated, but I'm going to go to image history. We pick the first image. I'm then also going to go through and pick these other images. I really like this one. And on the left, you'll notice that this is the front. And then we have the right, the back, and then the left. But what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to, you can't get rid of one particular angle, you can only get rid of what is left at the end here. So I'm going to get this left angle here. I'm just going to remove it because I want to show you the difference between supplying an image and not supplying an image when using this tool. So I'm going to shut this down. I don't need to add a description, but I'm going to come straight down and hit Create World and give it 5 minutes to create our world. But while I'm waiting, I'm going to go down to our character tools here to create a character starting from an image. I go to my history, I choose the character we created earlier and create a character based off that image. But cutting ahead, we have our world, which was created using images from Nano Banana. I'm going to hit enter. And what we get here looks pretty good. There's a little bit of detail. It's still a little bit sort of fuzzy on some of the edges, but this is more of a simulation at this point. You'll notice as I go over here, we start to lose some detail because we didn't put that image in there. But as I keep going, it regains some of the detail and gets a bit better. So that just goes to show you why I think it's kind of important to make sure you try and get all the angles in there if you want the best result, because some of the best parts of this image really are in where the images are, but it's good because we can still explore this space. But naturally, I can now come down to that ground level. So I'm going to hit Q to come down, and I've hit that ground level. I'm going to move across, and I can try and get that same low angle of my character with a bit of grass and things like that here. So again, I'm going to come down to take shots. I'm going to zoom out a little bit or change that camera angle a little bit. And now I'm going to add in my character, which is this guy. And I'm going to say, Cyborg Wade is walking through a post-apocalyptic city, low angle shot, bright sunlight, cinematic movie style. So I can again hit take shot, and what it renders very closely sits with the way we framed the image. And you can really see the difference when you pop the two side by side. And you can see how it's really increased the quality and details of the image, including the leaves in the foreground here, or the buildings in the background, by using that 3D model as a basis for the image. And now it's easy to see how you can take full camera control of your scene and simply pop your characters in where you need them. And of course, this isn't just limited to the one character, and you can change the worlds around. I might even add in another character to the scene like Punky Pete. And then you can start to build full scenes with multiple characters in them. And the control, although it's not 100% accurate all the time, it works out pretty solid. And I find it's a really great guideline for generally framing up your images and getting them the way you want them. And now you can see how we've created a world here. You can come back at any time and create more. And the same button exists down here, but there's also the 3D World Cam and Cast in Scene, essentially taking you into that space so that you can start to create images. But you don't have to stick with worlds that you've created. If I go into Browse Library here, we have the two worlds I've already created, but also the OpenArt library, where they have a bunch of other really nifty universes and worlds you can already use. So if you wanted to test this out without building a world first, you can go in here and actually explore it for yourself. I really love some of the more artistic worlds, like this chess atop mountain peaks world. This just looks so cinematic. And if I wanted to actually pop something like my Shaolin monk in here, I could go take shots, add him in, pop in my prompt, take that shot. And again, it improves the features and adds my character into that scene. If I remove my character altogether, I can zoom out and even say something like a giant hand hovers over the top of a chessboard in the mountains. So without any character reference, I hit take shot, and it still adds that element into the scene itself. Now you can also try to experiment with different styles as well, and it tends to focus mainly on the object you add in, but it does have some impact on the color and composition. As you can see, this Caravaggio style has got more of a golden tint to it. But when you start to put these ideas together, you can see how you can create a scene with a character, even add in other various elements into your prompt, and really bring the scene to life. But don't forget, you can also explore other tools to edit or even restyle it, such as Nano Banana 2, to get a little bit more control over the final product. So there may be more than one simple step, but this is a really great foundation for taking control over your images. Now, this tool really does empower you to take more control over the scenes that you're creating, but if you find you're just not quite getting what you need out of it, just remember you can extend to the other tools and kind of combine between using the world's feature and other tools that are found in OpenArt to get a better result. For example, sticking with Nano Banana 2, I'm going to clear and pop this image in there, as I don't feel the face really matches mine quite as well. So I'm going to go and add visual references under Upload Image. I have some old uploads, and I can get this image of me and even repair some of these images after the fact. So maybe I say something like, replace the likeness of the face in image 1 to look like the man in image 2. Also add a burnt out old car body behind him in the distance. Again, I'm going to generate a couple of these, and you can see how my face gets repaired quite easily. We're able to add that car into the background, and I can do the same process on any other images I feel don't look quite as good. So have a little bit more control afterwards as well by actually leveraging some of the tools in OpenArt like Nano Banana 2. Another powerful OpenArt tool is to come to an image like this one here, and I can go to the drop down and hit change camera angle. And I can move this camera angle around here. But another quick way to deal with this is just to simply hit create all angles, and then you can generate all the images from all different angles and pick which ones you want to use. You can then create multiple angles either to switch between or simply pick the one you like the best. So this is a great way to very quickly get a lot of different images you can use in your projects. But you can see if I come up to the arrow here, just how many different image tools you have, including image editor, image variations, upscalers, and that combined with just the camera angle control and Nano Banana 2 means you can basically edit these images really easily and really quickly to kind of like fine tune your results. So by combining these tools, you can go beyond what just the tool offers, but that brings me to the idea of creating videos. Because we have more control over the environment and the framing, we can now use this tool to set up our start and end frames when we're trying to generate some video, which we can do right within OpenArt as well. But also we have the video tools down here. If I click on that and I go frame to video, I can switch over to say Kling 3. I can add in a simple start frame or even an end frame, and I can add some action, even an angle change by simply describing my prompt. Show the two men talking as the camera slowly changes to a higher angle. And we have the option to go for 1080p. We can change the length of the video. We'll go maybe 4 seconds for this one. I'm going to leave the audio turned off for the sake of testing this out. And I can also produce up to 4 videos. I'm going to go with 2 and hit generate. And we can create a whole bunch of videos that way also. And so our original video turns out like this, which is pretty cool, but we can also create a sequence of shots where we can start to tell a story. By setting up those angles and having that consistent background, we're able to piece these little frames together into videos, perfect for short films, social media, or even for marketing. It's a really, really great way to take more control over what you're doing. And so naturally, you start to move into a future where you have various different AI tools that work together. And that's why all-in-one platforms like this are really good. There's not one single tool that can do it all, but between those tools, the consistency, the control really empowers you as a creative. This is another great step forward in the world of AI and creativity. This layer of control, again, just helps us to bridge the gap between control and simply rolling the dice. AI speeds up the process, makes it more accessible, and having little tools like this that allow us that extra level of control means we can take our creative vision and more easily bring it to life. So I highly recommend you check that out. There's a link in the description to OpenArt if you want to try out this world's tool. But otherwise, that's the video for today, guys. If you found this useful, please give the video a like. But I hope to see you again soon. Have a great day. And again, thanks for watching.